this play out? Back with us, Rochelle Ritchie, along with Manhattan Republican Party Chair and CEO Andrea Catsimatidis, along with Trump Campaign Advisory Board member Madison Jessiano. Madison, how's this going to impact the vote?
You know, ultimately, I don't think it's going to, Charles. I mean, people recognize this as being a separate issue. I do understand what people are talking about when it comes to civility. I think we all need to hold ourselves to a higher standard and those around us to a higher standard when it comes to political divisiveness in this country. We need to be avoiding that. We need to be able to have these conversations with people because I think you can learn a lot more from people across the aisle than people give credit right now. People don't want to talk to anybody that disagrees with them, and I don't think that's a healthy way to live. But at the same time, when it comes to the midterms, people are focused on the economy. They're focused on so many of the issues that directly impact their lives, and the reality is this bomb scare didn't directly impact the lives of Americans across this country.
Andrea, what do you think?
I agree with Madison 100%. This guy is a deranged lunatic. Clearly, he has a rap sheet going back to 1991, long before President Trump was in office. This guy was causing trouble, and I think the American people are going to see that, and I think President Trump's message that he had yesterday, one that we should go out against all political violence, is one that we should all unify behind.
Well, Andrea, what do you say to people, though, who are saying that President Trump, his rhetoric would inspire or trigger someone like that if he had toned it down or if he hadn't been so harsh in some of the things that he said either on the campaign trail or as president, then maybe this guy wouldn't have been motivated to do this?
I mean, I don't think that's true at all because this guy has this long history. In 2002, he threatened to bomb the power company when they were going to shut off his power. This guy is just a crazy lunatic. And I mean, I think there's blame on both sides of the aisle to go around, like when Eric Holder said that when Republicans go low, kick them. I don't think that anyone should be saying that you should be kicking people. Just 2 weeks ago, our Manhattan GOP headquarters was vandalized by Antifa, and the wording that they used in the notes was exactly what Hillary Clinton said when she said that Democrats should not be civil towards Republicans, and I think that we should all be speaking out against this.
Rochelle, when something like this happens, isn't it a good opportunity then for everyone to lead by example? In other words,
absolutely.
If the media and a lot of Democrats have been so quick to blame President Trump that it actually, to me, defies what they're trying to suggest. In other words, before this was even solved, before they even captured this guy, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer put out a scathing statement essentially blaming President Trump. Wasn't that the best opportunity for them to show the kind of leadership they're begging Trump to show?
I think that if we are expecting leadership from Pelosi and Schumer, then we should also expect leadership from the President of the United States.
I agree, but I'm asking you, so you agree then maybe they shouldn't have put out that statement at that time.
I think that Trump supporters are being extremely sensitive to this because this man clearly was a Trump supporter. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say that as a result of what Donald Trump has said caused this man to send pipe bombs or even to threaten my life on Twitter. But what I will say is that the president has a responsibility in this country to bring us back to unifying us and not to continue divisive rhetoric. I was a reporter for 12 years. So when I hear someone saying that we are the enemy of the people or my friends are the enemy of the people, that is encouraging that sort of divisiveness. And I think, as I said before, he needs to just dial it back. He's not going to come out and say, America, I'm sorry that I've been so volatile. However, he can work with his communications team to find a different way to maybe say what he wants to say without being so insulting.
And you honestly believe that no matter what he says, that he'll be treated with the kind of respect that every president before him was by the mainstream media that loathes him so much that almost every other week they're apologizing because they put out some news that was incorrect, wrong, misleading.
What do they apologize for?
They apologize. You know how many headlines they've had? How many times the stock market has gone down because they've said something about President Trump? Because I'm saying because they put out a wrong report.
Okay.
And their haste because of their anxiety or their resentment to Trump. But let me bring Madison in because Steve Scalise was shot. It wasn't a bomb that didn't go off. It wasn't a threatening tweet. He was shot. He was shot by a Bernie Sanders supporter. I did not see Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer release a statement saying, how dare Bernie Sanders put out so much vitriolic language and cause this.
It's about personal accountability. It's about accountability of our law enforcement. We can't blame a president or a political figure for acts of violence. I'm going to tell you right now, whether or not President Trump was president or became president, people like this man are going to do things like this. Like Andrea said, he did things like this before now. And,
you know what I'm really
there's
worried
always
about,
going
Andrea?
to be people out there.
This is what I'm worried about is that, and we all get emotional about it, that these conversations that blame someone immediately give cover to the crazies out there to do this kind of stuff.
I agree with you, and I think that we should act on President Trump's message and call for an end to all political violence. And as political leaders, I think it's our responsibility to encourage civil discourse instead of political violence.
And it starts at the top. And let me tell you something, words certainly matter, because if words did not matter, we would not have had 6 million Jews killed during the Holocaust. So we have to understand that words certainly matter, and words do encourage violence. And the president has to take some sort of change in how he is communicating his message to the American people.
And do you believe the media needs to take a change as well?
I think the media needs to report the facts, and that's what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing. I mean, the media has been wildly unfair to this president.
The president has opened himself up to it. The president opens himself.
The media should hold themselves to the standard of doing their job,
and
their job does not change because they dislike somebody.
No, it changes because they're reporting facts. And if this president did not stand on the podium clearly from his bully pulpit and insult people, they would not have it to report.
So you think your argument's just ridiculous?
We're going to have to leave it there, but I will say that the media has not reported all facts. I mean, there's been a lot of bad and misreporting, and I think it's because
coming from this White House.
I think it's because they just don't like President Trump, and that's unfortunate.
Absolutely not.
Ladies, thank you all very